In this video lecture, I'm going to talk about another type of parsing methods called bottom-up parsing. In the previous two video lectures, we have discussed two top-down parsing method. One is recursive descent parsing, and the one is predictive parser, also called LL1 parser. Now it is time to focus on another class of parsing method called bottom-up parsing. So basically we learn two simple bottom-up parsing method. One is shift radius parser and the one is simple LR parsers. We have many other types of LR parsers like look ahead LR parser, canonical LR parsers. They are much more powerful than simple LR parser. This is basic LR parser which you are going to study under this bottom-up parsing. In this video lecture, I am specifically focusing on one of the simple bottom-up parsing method called shift radius parser. So in the top-down parsing method, we saw all the parsing methods, either recursive descent parsing or predictive parsing method, will attempt to construct parse tree for a given input string and grammar from a root to leaves. We start from start symbol and end up with some kind of sentence, that is input string. So once you concatenate all the leaves in the parse tree, you get a string being derived. And as you know, top-down parsers will make use of leftmost derivation, starting from start symbol to string to be derived. So on the other hand, bottom-up parsers will work from leaves towards a root. We start from the input string. We try to reduce input string to a root. That is the start symbol. In other words, we'll attempt to construct a parse tree starting from leaves, moving towards up till root. That is the main difference between top-down parsers and bottom-up parsing method. We'll see shift radius parser in this video lecture. Then we'll take up simple LR parsers in the subsequent video lecture. Introduction. Given an input string of terminals, a shift radius parser construct parse tree for an input string beginning at the leaves, that is bottom, and working towards the root, the top. The shift radius parsers, in fact all the bottom parsers will use reverse of rightmost derivation. Keep in mind, all the bottom-up parsers will make use of RMD in reverse, because we should start from the string and move towards start symbol. So reverse of RMD is being exploited by all the bottom-up parsers, including shift radius parser. We'll see why it is called a shift radius shortly. These parsers uses a type of grammars called LR grammars. So LR parsers are difficult to build by hand. So we can use automatic parser generators for LR grammars. We'll see what do you mean by L and what do you mean by R. Just L stands for scanning the input from left to right. All the bottom-up parsers will scan the input string for analysis from left to right using a rightmost derivation in reverse. The second letter R stands for using rightmost derivation in reverse. Ultimately, the goal of bottom-up parsing is to construct derivation in reverse. Now let us take a simple example. Suppose say this is the input string, that is the token string. ID is one token, star is another token, ID is another token. And suppose say this is the grammar for arithmetic expression. So unlike top-down parsers, you no need to remove left recursion or you no need to left factor the grammar. The only requirement is that grammar must be unambiguous. So this is the standard grammar which we already come across in the earlier video lecture. E arrow E plus T bar T, T arrow T star F bar F, F arrow into parenthesis E bar ID. So this grammar you have written after elimination of ambiguity from the grammar. Suppose say this is the RMD for this string. So we start from E. I use a production T, E arrow T. Now we expand T by T star F. T star F derives T star ID. So rightmost non-terminal is picked up here, replaced by ID using F arrow ID, T star ID. Then we replace T by F, T arrow F. Then F is finally replaced by ID. So starting from start symbol, we applied rightmost derivation to derive or to generate ID star ID, a valid arithmetic expression involving star operator. This is how we write a rightmost derivation. In every step of derivation, we pick up rightmost non-terminal for replacing it with body of the production. So here we are replaced D by T. Next we replace T by T star F, body of the production. Next we replace F by ID. Leftmost non-terminal is F. By using F arrow ID we replaced F by ID. Then we replaced leftmost, rightmost derivation. This will be T. So this T will be replaced by F by using T arrow F. Then finally this F is replaced by ID. So in every step of derivation we pick up rightmost non-terminal for replacing it with the appropriate body of that particular non-terminal. So this is how we get a RMD for some particular string. So now, as you know, all the bottom-up parsers, including shift radius parser, start from ID star ID and work towards this sentencial form, F star ID, and from this to this, from this to this, and from this to this, and finally from this to this. So in other words, bottom-up parsers will reduce a string to be parsed to start symbol E. So that should be done in a step-by-step manner in a reverse order. So ID star ID will be reduced to F star ID. F star ID is reduced to T star ID. T star ID is reduced to T star F. T star F is reduced to T. T is reduced to E in this way. Reduction. So reduce action. Let us look at a bottom-up parse for this ID. How we construct parse tree. See, ID star ID is the beginning point. So next we replace ID will be reduced to F. So here this ID will be reduced to F. We got a F star ID. So we often this call it as a handle. Handle is nothing but a string of grammar symbol that matches with body of some appropriate production. So ID matches with ID here. This is called handle. So it must be true handle. In a sense, so once if I replace ID handle by its head of the production, you should get back to the previous sentential form. So these are called sentential form T star F, T star ID, F star ID are called sentential form. So this is called sentence. The sentence is also a sentential form, but it contains only terminal symbols. And these are called purely sentential form because every sentential form contains at least one non-terminal. So they are called sentential form, particularly right sentential form in this case. Okay. So now I got F star ID, this one. ID is reduced to F. I got F star ID. So ID will act as a handle. So because this ID matches with the body of F arrow ID production, therefore this will be handle, valid handle. So I can replace ID by F to get this sentential form. Now what happens next? So next we replace F by T. F will be replaced by T, or F is reduced to T. So we got a T star ID, this sentential form. So in the next step of reverse derivation, we replace ID, as a handle, by F. So ID will be replaced by F. We got a T star F. This is T star F. So the next step of reverse RMD, T star F is reduced to F. T star F is reduced to T. Sorry, it is not F, it is T. This is T. Now finally T is reduced to E. Finally T is reduced to E. So make this correction, this is T, not F. So this way we started from leaf, ID star ID, ID star ID, and we worked towards root, that is E. And in the RMD what we do, we starts with E, we replace it by T, and T will replace it by T star F, and next we replace T by F by using T arrow F production, then F arrow ID. So we get again from top to bottom, if you use RMD E2 ID plus ID star ID. So you have to use RMD in reverse. So you should start from the leaf nodes like ID star ID and move towards. So these are called leaf nodes. ID is one leaf node, star is another leaf node, this ID is another leaf node. So usually leaf nodes are always terminal symbols, and non-leaf nodes are terminals, non-terminals. Or interior node always represents non-terminal, whereas leaf node always represents terminal symbol, also called tokens. It's a string of tokens. So this is how I can show the bottom-up pass for ID star ID. Similarly, you can try for ID star ID plus ID or ID plus ID star ID. You can take some valid input string and you can show the sequence of parse trees starting from string to construction of complete parse tree. So this is how all the bottom-up passes will work from given string to complete parse tree. Remember, you will get a parse tree, complete parse tree, if and only if this input string is, or a token stream is, grammatically correct or syntactically correct statement or a correct string. Now let us look specifically SIFT-reduce parser, how the SIFT-reduce parser works, or working of SIFT-reduce parser, and why it is called SIFT-reduce parser. The general idea is to shift some symbols of input to the stack. So all the bottom-up parsers will make use of a data structure called stack. We'll see why stack is used. We'll understand what is necessity of using stack in all the bottom-up parsers. Okay. Symbol of input will be pushed, shifted onto a stack. Shift means push. Reduce means it is something pop action. Okay. Stack until a reduction can be applied. So we apply reduce action whenever handle is found on the stack. So the use of stack is justified by the fact that handle will always lies on the top, never inside. That is the reason why we prefer to use a stack for all the bottom-up parsing method. At each step of reduction, a specific substring matching a body of the production is replaced by the non-terminal at the head of the production. The substring here is a handle that matches with body of production, which is to be replaced by a non-terminal at the head of that production. This is what I call a reduce action. A shift action is simply shifting one symbol at a time in the input onto the top of the stack. So reduce action means whenever handle is found, valid handle is found on the top of the stack, we remove entire handle from the stack and push head of that production onto the stack. The key decisions during bottom-up parsing are about when to reduce and about what production to apply. Which production should be used to do the reduce action and when to reduce. Sometimes you may come across handle on the top of the stack, but that handle may not be true handle. If I apply reduction, it may not take you to the previous sentential form in the reverse RMD. So you can't apply reduce action immediately whenever you come across a handle all the time. The handle must be true handle present on the top of the stack. Top in the sense a few symbols on the top of the stack. Let's see once we take up the example and let's see how the shift reduce parser works. A reduction is a reverse of a step in a rightmost derivation. So reduction will take you from one sentential form to previous sentential form. So we call it as a one reduction. So when to do reduction and what type of or what production to be applied for the reduction. So it depends upon the handle and handle that matches with the body of the appropriate production. The goal of bottom-up parser is to construct derivation in reverse. Just now we discussed the same example. ID star ID will be reduced to F star ID will be reduced to T star ID. So handle is this in this case. If I reduce ID by F, I'll get a F star ID. So just ID will be reduced to F. So get F star ID. F is reduced to T, you get T star ID. So yeah, T or F production is used. So since this is a handle, F is handle that matches with body of T arrow F production. So we replace body by head of the production T star ID. Then in the next step of reverse derivation, ID is a handle that matches with the body of the production F arrow ID. So we apply reduce action. ID will be reduced to F. We get a T star F. Then T star F is complete handle that matches with the body of the production T arrow T star F. So T star F is handled because it matches with body of the production T arrow T star F. So we replace T star F by T. Then finally T is a handle in the production E arrow T. So we replace T by E. So we'll arrive at start symbol. It's the root of the parse tree. Let us see an important term called handle pruning. So what do you mean by handle pruning? A handle is a substring. Just now we saw what is handle. Handle is a substring that matches the body of a production and whose reduction represents one step along the reverse of rightmost derivation. So what do you mean by handle? What do you mean by handle pruning? Handle pruning is a basically process of obtaining RMD in reverse, where in this process, in every step of reverse derivation, we will try to find out what is the handle and which production is to be applied for the reduction. Let's have taken another sample example to illustrate handles during parsing of ID star ID. So right sentencial form is ID star ID. First right sentencial form is ID star ID. Of course it is a sentence. It does not contain any non-terminals. So what is handled in this? ID. So ID is a handle. And by using this production F arrow ID in the grammar, we reduce ID to F. So we get ID F star ID. So next sentence will form the reverse RMD. So in this sentencial form, handle is F and we replace F by T. Since F matches with body of this production, we replace F by T to get a next sentencial form in the reverse direction. So we get a T star ID. And in this sentencial form, ID becomes a handle. And the ID matches with the body of F arrow ID production. So now this handle can be replaced by head of the production F. So to get T star F. Now T star F is the sentencial form. A handle in this case will be entire T star F. Now we use production E arrow T star F because T star F matches with body of this production and we replace T star F by E. So we get a start symbol E. So after getting the sequence of handle one by one in a sequence parser, we'll start from the sentence and we arrive at the start symbol. The important point to be noticed here is that in every step of derivation there is exactly one handle in a sentencial form. There never be more than one handle at all. If there happen to be more than one handle at all, then the grammar is not suitable for bottom-up parsing. Normally it may happens when the grammar is ambiguous. You can see we have a handle, only one handle in every step of derivation, reverse derivation. So in the examination you may be given a grammar like this and a string of this kind. You may be asked to show the handle pruning. So you should give this table and you should show all the possible handles. And to get this table, best way is to give the RMD and flip the RMD in reverse to get the appropriate handle, to list out handle in the table. So once you are able to know the handle, you can easily find out the corresponding production, because handles should always match with body of the exactly one production in the grammar. It should not match with more than one production body in the grammar. If it matches, then the grammar is not suitable for bottom-up parsing again. Because if there are two bodies, it is very difficult to judge which production to be applied for the reduction. So we'll have something conflict, like reduce conflict. We'll see later on what are the different types of conflicts that we may come across. What are the actions of shift reduce parser, or in general bottom up parsers? The same actions are also holds good for simple LR parser, look ahead LR parser, and canonical LR parsers. While the primary operations or primary actions are shift and reduce, there are actually 4 possible actions a shift reduce parser can make. Action 1 shift, reduce, 3 accept, 4 error. So they are similar to top-down parsers. Expand, match, accept, errors that we saw when we dealt with top-down parsers. Actions of top-down parsers: expand, match, accept, errors. They are the actions of top-down parsers. So these are the actions of bottom-up parsers. So what do you mean by shift action? Shift action shifts next input symbol onto the top of the stack. It's a push action. Shift corresponds to pushing one symbol at a time in the input symbol whenever shift is to be done onto the stack. Now next we'll have a reduce action. The right end of string to be reduced must be at the top of the stack. It's a handle. Locate the left end of the string within the stack and decide with what non-terminal to replace the string. So, in summary, the reduce action: locate the handle on the top of the stack and then choose the appropriate production whose body matches with handle to replace handle by head of that production. This is what a reduce action. Body is replaced by head of the production. Accept is another action. Happens after the entire string is processed. Announce successful completion of parsing. If the string is syntactically valid, then the parser will accept the string, announcing that parsing is successful. That means construction of parse tree is done successfully. We'll have one more action called error. Upon discovering a syntax error in the string or a statement, the error action is done. Once if error is detected, the error recovery routine or error recovery function will be called on by the shift reduce parser, and error handler will dealing with error recovery mechanism and enabling the parser to go ahead with detecting the subsequent errors present in the string or a program. So these are the 4 different actions performed by not only shift reduce parser, all the bottom up parsers, including simple LR parser. Now let's see working of shift reduce parser. A stack is used to hold a grammar symbols. We use a stack to hold a grammar symbols. Again, grammar symbol means maybe terminal symbol or maybe non-terminal symbols. Handle always appear on top of the stack. This is the reason why we use stack data structure for implementing all the bottom-up parsers. Use of stack make us locate the handle always on the top of the stack, never inside. Therefore, the stack data structure is coming to the picture with all the bottom-up parsers. Now let us look at initial configuration of shift redis parser. Initially you will have a stack, and at the bottom of the stack we will have a dollar sign that marks the bottom of the stack, and on the other hand in the input string we will have a string w ending with dollar sign. So dollar is input right hand marker here. It also serves as a bottom marker for the stack. So the initial configuration, the shift redis parser is in before it start doing the parsing process. So after consuming all the symbols in the input string, the parser may enters into the final configuration, also called acceptance configuration. So we'll come across at final configuration, also called acceptance configuration, if and only if string is valid string. The parser, if generates a string or accept a string, then it will enters into the acceptance configuration. In that case, the stack is just having dollar sign, and above dollar sign will have a start symbol, and input is completely exhausted, finished off, just will have a dollar sign. W is totally consumed by the shift redis parser. No symbols are present in the input, or in other words, end of the input is seen. And at that time, the stack must contains dollar sign, and just above dollar sign will have a start symbol of the grammar. Now in this case, in all the bottom passes, stack will grow from left to right. Fashion. So that's a convention. This is the bottom of the stack. The next symbol on the stack is S. It's the top of the stack. So in case of top-down passes, we use a convention where the stack grows towards left. Just again, it is a convention. It makes no any. There are no any hard rule that you should make it to move from left to right or right to left. Just for convenience, we used stack that grows towards left in case of top-down passers. In case of bottom passers, it will move towards right. This is about configuration of the shift redis parser. What is the initial configuration? What is the final configuration? Also called acceptance configuration. Now let's take a simple example to understand how the shift redis parser works, or shift redis parsing. So again, I'm going to take the same token string or an input string id star id valid string like a star b. So I can have a star b as a valid string. Remember, a star is not a valid because one operand is missing. So id star id is a valid string, valid arithmetic expression. So this is the same grammar again, and using this grammar I can derive this string, or I can construct parse tree for this string successfully. So therefore this is a valid string. So see how the shift redis parser works. So initially we'll have a stack with the dollar sign, initial configuration. This is input w dollar sign, that is w nothing but id star id. Now action can be shift or reduce, or it can be accept or error. If there are any errors, then we announce that string is having a syntax error or a grammatical error. See, we move from one configuration to another configuration. So this is initial configuration of the stack, shift redis parser or SRP. So first action is always going to be shift, where we shift one symbol in the input or a current input symbol onto a stack. So id is a current input symbol, we shift it onto the stack. Now on the stack we can see id is a handle, and we reduce or replace this handle by head of the production f. So id is replaced by f. Reduced by f arrow id, you will get sf or $f star id star. Now in the next step, again reduce t star f. So F is a handle. We reduce, apply reduce by T star F. We replace F by T. So $sign T star ID $sign. So now we will go for applying the shift action, because there is no handle on the top of the stack. So T is a actual handle that matches with arrow T body, but it is not a true handle. If you look at RMD, which we discussed just now, look at reverse RMD. This is not a handle. It's not a true handle. It's not a correct handle. So you have to do shift action. Shift star. So T star or something star is not a handle. Now look at the content of the stack. So actually, if you combine content of the stack with remaining input, you get a sentenceal form T star ID. If you look at RMD, so T star ID is the sentenceal form. Next we have a shift, so ID will be shifted. So get T star ID. Now on the stack we have ID star T. On top ID is there. So on the top of the stack we have a handle again, ID. So reduce by F arrow ID, replace ID by F to get T star F. Now input is finished off, and on the stack we have got a $sign T star F. So is there a handle on the top of the stack? There is a handle. T star F, all symbols together represent a handle. Now input is adjusted and reduce it by T using T star, T arrow, T star F. T star F is replaced by T. T star F is reduced to T. So we'll get a one more sentence. Again apply reduce action, E arrow T, T is reduced to E. Then input is adjusted, and on the top of the stack you have got a start symbol. So final configuration or acceptance configuration of the stack is reached. Therefore, the string is valid string and it is accepted. You can see, starting from the initial configuration of the shift reduce parser, we have applied a sequence of shift reduce, reduce shift. So depending on whether shift is to be done or reduce is to be done. So definitely you have to do the reduce action if and only if handle on the top of the stack is correct handle. So therefore we can apply the reduce action. Even sometime you may come across handle on the top of the stack, but it may not be true handle. So we should be careful about that. So again, best way is to use RMD and write RMD and use it in reverse. And you can see, if you try to concatenate all the symbols in the stack with the input, you get a sentenceal form. Say $sign is there, no symbols on the stack. So ID star ID is the first sentence to begin with, ID star ID in the reverse RMD. So what is the next sentenceal form? ID is shifted onto stack. So I'll have ID star ID. So next sentenceal form will be F star ID. The next sentenceal form will be T star ID. So next sentenceal form will be T star ID. So shift action is there. So T star ID is T star ID. So next sentenceal form will be T star ID. So once if I replace ID by F, I'll get a one more sentenceal form T star F, then T star F to T, T to E. So by applying appropriate production in a suitable order, we can perform the shift reduce parsing for a given input string. So this is how shift reduce parser will parse the given input string by moving from one configuration to another configuration and performing the either shift action or reduce action. So you may come across error action. In that case, neither shift nor reduce can be possible. It may happens because of input string can be invalid string. So that point of time you can stop as soon as you come across a first error. If the string is valid, definitely will go and reach the final configuration for the stack. Okay. So this table shows the configurations of shift reduce parser on an input id star id. So as an exercise, you take one more string into parenthesis id plus id star id. Now try to show all the configurations for the shift reduce parser. Take another string into parenthesis id plus id star id. Start from first configuration $sign empty stack into parenthesis id plus id star id $sign, that is the input, and first action is always shift action, shift id into parenthesis onto stack, and decide whether the next action is to be shift or reduce. Whether the next action is shift or reduce, next action is shift or reduce. So accordingly you should let the shift reduce parser to move from one configuration to another configuration. And as far as shift reduce parser is concerned, the best way is to first give the rightmost derivation and use rightmost derivation in reverse and go and write the configuration. So start from into parenthesis id plus id star id. First find out the handle to get back to previous sentential form. So we can easily find out handle in this string, something id. So previous sentential form, previous sentential form, previous sentential form till start symbol e. Now in this grammar start symbol is e because capital S is missing. If S is missing means you should take head of the first production as the start symbol. Now coming to conflicts during shift reduce parsing. And these conflicts are also common for simple LR parsing and other bottom of parsers. Shift reduce conflicts are common for all types of parsing method, bottom of parsing method. So basically we will have two types of conflicts. The conflict is something situation that may confuse the parser. The shift is to be done or reduce is to be done, or if reduce is to be done, if there is one, if there will be a possibility that the handle can match with more than one body, in that case we will have something reduce conflict. So that reduce means which production is to be used for the reduction when handle matches with more than one body. So the first type of conflict is shift reduce conflict, and most dangerous type of conflict is reduce conflict. Somehow shift reduce conflict can be managed by preferring shift over reduce. If there is a conflict, shift reduce means we found a handle on the top of the stack. Okay. Whether shift is to be done or reduce is to be done. We found a handle on the top of the stack and we'll have some symbol in the input. A shift is to be done or handle is to be replaced by body of appropriate production. So we'll have a shift or reduce conflict. So we found a handle on the stack, but that handle matches with body of more than one production. Which production is to be used for the reduction? So there is a reduce conflict. So we'll have two types of conflicts: shift reduce conflict, reduce conflict. Let us look at a simple example for the shift reduce conflict. We'll take a if-else statement expression. If-else statement grammar statement can be if expression then statement, or the statement can be if expression then statement else statement, or it may be any other statement. Here if is a keyword, then is keyword, else is keyword. So these are the terminal symbols. If, then, else are the terminal symbol. EXPR expression is a maybe Boolean expression whose outcome is true or false. EXPR and STMT are the non-terminals. Remember, keywords always terminal symbols. Expression is non-terminal. There are something non-terminal that represent Boolean expression. A statement is also non-terminal because it may represent any other kind of statement in the program. Maybe another if statement, or maybe switch statement, or maybe for loop, maybe while loop. Any kind of statements can be there as a statement here. If this is expression is true, then we do this statement. If it is simple if statement. If it is if else statement, if expression is true, then we'll do this statement. If expression is false, we'll do this statement. So you can say statement 1, statement 2. This is true, do statement 1, otherwise do statement 2. Or the statement can be any other statement other than the if statement. Now suppose say this is the some random configuration of the shift radius parser. It's not a initial configuration. I have taken some middle configuration of the shift radius parser. Suppose say this is the content of the stack. If EXPR, then statement is on the top of the stack, and below that there can be something else. We don't bother about what is there below this handle. So actually we'll have a handle on the top of the stack, because if EXPR, then statement matches with the body of this function. If EXPR, then statement, and remaining input is this. The next symbol in the input is else, or next token in the input is else. There are some other inputs, and finally we have a dollar sign. Now you can see we found a handle on the top of the stack, and next symbol or a next token in the input is else. Now question is whether the reduce action is to be applied, or you have to apply the shift action. Now it looks something like it is a if else statement. If expression, then statement, next symbol is else. Something else statement or something is there in the input, but you have to prefer shift action because it represents a if else statement actually. And if you do the reduce action thinking that this is the correct handle, so you may end up with wrong parsing. You may not succeed in parsing correctly even if the statement is correct one. So we'll have a shift or reduce conflict. Whether else is to be shifted onto a stack, or this handle is to be reduced to STMT. If I reduce it to STMT, so you will end up with wrong parsing because next will have else. So this looks like if else statement, not if statement. So there is a conflict called shift reduce conflict. So normally if there is a shift reduce conflict, this conflict can be resolved or solved by using or by preferring shift over reduce action. Now coming to another type of conflict called reduce conflict. So normally reduce conflict occurs whenever the handle is found on the stack, but that handle matches with more than one body of the production with a different head, of course. Now let's take a simple example grammar, general grammar. A arrow capital CA capital BB, B arrow capital CA bar B. You can see there are two bodies CA with two different heads. So this is in fact grammar not suitable for top-down parser because we expect all the body in the grammar should be unique. The grammar should have unique bodies. So in case if you come across this kind of grammar with identical bodies with different head, there will be a possibility of reduced conflict. Reduced means whether reduction is to be done using this or reduction is to be done using this reduce. Suppose this is stack content dot ca. There is something before this between $sign and ca. There is a handle on the stack, and there is something in the input. Now handle is present on the stack ca, but this handle matches with body of this production as well as this production. Now question is whether this is to be reduced to B or this is to be reduced to A. So there is a reduce conflict. So therefore the reduce conflicts should not be there in the grammar for bottom of parsing or shift reduce parsing. And in fact reduce conflicts are a dangerous type of conflict compared to shift reduce conflict. Okay. So this is all about shift reduce parser. We saw briefly what is shift reduce parser, and before that we had a discussion on a general point on the bottom of parser, how the bottom of parser will use rightmost derivation in reverse, what is handle pruning, how to locate the handle. I don't know, handle pruning is basically the process of obtaining the sequence of handle by applying the reverse rightmost derivation. And we discussed the working of shift reduce parser, like what is the initial configuration and what is the final configuration, how it moves from initial configuration to final configuration to accept the string or to construct the parser for the string virtually. And we saw different actions of shift reduce parser: shift, reduce, accept error. They are the possible action. Not only with shift reduce parsers, the same actions will also be used with the other bottom up parsing methods or bottom up parsers. Then we saw working of shift reduce parser with some simple string, and we saw different types of conflicts, shift reduce conflicts and reduce conflicts, and we saw example for shift reduce conflict and example for reduce conflict. Okay. I think possibly in the next video lectures we'll take up the simple LR parser, which is table driven. There we'll see how to construct the parsing table and how to apply the parsing algorithm to parse the given string. And it is somewhat more powerful parsing method compared to shift reduce parser. It's a special type of shift reduce parser only, but it uses table called parsing table. As with top-down parsers, we should also understand how to design the parsing table and how to use the parsing table to choose the appropriate production for the reduction. And the table will guide us when to perform the shift action and when to perform the reduce action. When using that table, we determine shift reduce action, and by looking ahead one or more symbols, we determine surely whether the action is to be done shift or action is to be done reduce. We saw with shift reduce parser that it's somewhat difficult to tell when to do shift action and when to do reduce action. But when it comes to LR parsers, like simple LR parsers, you can surely tell when to do shift and when to do reduce by using parsing table. That's all for now. Thank you.